What's up, everyone? The Lord Excel, Lord Excelsior here, with episode 8 of my Roller Coaster Tycoon series. And today we're going to be doing a scenery episode. Now, I'm not the best when it comes to scenery. There are a lot of other better people out there. My designs are very simple. I don't even think they're actually that good, to be honest with you. But I have quite a few people asking me how I do scenery, what I think about different styles of scenery, how one can improve, and that's basically what I'm going to cover in this episode thing. Now, the first thing I definitely want to talk about is trees. It is my humble opinion that you can never have too many trees. Now, the only way you could have too many trees is if you had the same types of trees all, clustered in with one another so that you could just tell that it's all the same kind of tree. But if you're able to just use different types like how I'm doing here, just change it up. And you want it to be dense, but not too dense so that you can't necessarily see through it, but so that it's definitely being blocked by something. And that's pretty much how I'll do that. Now, obviously, this is just for areas where, basically for areas that you don't plan on putting anything interesting in. Like, if you're gonna do a garden, do what I did here. Just put bushes here. Just make it pretty. Use some sort of make it like a garden. Or here where we're specifically doing scenery for this pirate ride, where it's all ordered and it's not too cluttered. But here, nature is chaos. Just have at it. Just throw some stuff here or there. Try not to use the trimmed stuff because obviously that doesn't necessarily look that way in nature. And just throw stuff where you can throw it here or there. Doesn't really matter too much. When you start getting towards areas where it's supposed to be thinned out, use your bushes, your reeds, your lighter stuff towards the forefront so people can actually see it. You can create a textured, layered effect almost. And that looks a lot better than how we first started out with. Now that's one thing you can do for your park. Second thing you can do for your park, just create little tiny things here or there. Like with these little buildings right here. They're not big, they're not very pretty, but they take up space and they look pleasing to the eye. Now, we can continue this by, let's see, what can I use here? Valdir, I'm sorry if I mess this up right now because I can't really see the difference between the different types of tiles. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue my not my Everytown USA, my Main Street USA kinda thing. So I'm gonna grab one of these brick walls right here, but I want to find a nice color for the windows. I think blue's nice. So we use blue, and that's not evened up at all. See, I have a thing where I just like to be symmetrical, and that's not everybody's thing, but it's my thing. I like being symmetrical. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to create another building, similar to what we have right here. Not very big, not very pretty, but something that looks like, it'll be in a theme park. Maybe this is just a big gift shop or a restaurant. Now, one thing you're definitely going to want to do is be very liberal with your uses of windows, things that aren't plain. Like, for example, if we were just to do wall, 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 wall. You can see where I'm going with this. It's kind of boring for me to just say wall, 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 and for you guys to see wall, wall, wall. So we're going to do something like wall, wall, window, wall, wall, door, wall, wall, change it up a little bit. Everything's not flat in, modern architecture, so throw a curveball out every once in a while. You'll be happy that you did, trust me. You'll be very happy that you did. So we're just going to continue expanding outward like this. Remember to alternate every so often. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start putting my path in here, just because I'm going to make this area kind of like a gift shop almost, where I want people to go into it and explore it. Something for peeps for them to go into, and when you look at it, it's like, oh hey, peeps are going into there, cool. And just a little tip and trick, if you're going to do a building like this, put your walls right here or right here, and what you want to do is you want to go to land and find something that'll match it, but I usually just like the black and white because it looks like it could easily be tiled floors or something like that. And just make the first few spaces going into it that block. So that way, when you let's do this as an example. It could be anything. Let's just use this. When you cover it up, okay, that was a bad example because that's not where I did that at. All right, now we have a good example. Now you can't really see. You can see into it, but you don't really lose that much. Like, it doesn't just look like, oh hey, someone just did that there. Now I can totally see into it, and there's totally grass right there. But that's not going to be the case because we put that, black and white tile down. So we're just going to do that. I like doing it too deep. I don't know why, but that's just what I like doing. And we'll just continue with this. Now, choose whatever design you like. My personal preference is to just kind of build out and then reconvene at some point. Like, well, I'll show you guys in a second. Because what I'm going to like to do is I'm going to have my paths come out there and there. Now, another trick too, especially if you're doing a scenario or just if you want to hide some shops for your peeps to buy hats or whatever, is that you can just put a path going down. Just have it go down right into there. And put your shops on the ground. Peeps will never know the difference, and you'll be able to hide whatever you like down here. Shops, even rides. Take it and make it your own. Do whatever you want with it. Now, I'm trying to shoot for 20 minutes an episode, so I'm just going to move on to the bread and gravy of what I'm trying to do here, and that is that. You never want to build. How can I explain it? You don't want to build blocky. Like, here is a 2 by 2 cube. It's a block. It's a block and it's boring. And even if you put a roof on it, because my mouse is acting up today, even if you put a roof on it, it's still boring. No matter what you do with it, it's boring. So, what we are going to do is that I'm going to get a color that kind of looks like it'll match this brick. You know, kind of like, let's go for a Pueblo style color. And my style is I like to make terraces. I like to make terraces a lot. So in the front here, we're gonna have a big terrace. You know, maybe it's a restaurant, maybe they have outdoor seating, but I like making terraces. Simple way to do that is just make your walls going up however far you want them. Excuse me. Allergies. Let me grab a swig of my tea here. Wunderbar. Now, just going to continue that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to grab a railing of some sort. Now, you can do whatever railing you like. Obviously, we can't do the railings that go on paths, but there's a default piece of scenery that works very well, and it's this little side pole thing, and I use it all the time. You can also use your little half walls here, you know, whatever you like, whatever suits your needs. You know what? Let's actually use the wood. Let's use the wood wall. You know what? I wanna have it a little darker, and you know, a lot of it. This is a creative thing. You know, you want to have darks on lights. You want to present that juxtaposition of contrast of light and dark. You know, pretend this is your canvas and you're painting a picture. That's basically what you want right there. I just think that the darker brown would work nice for this, so that's why I'm using it. Now, I'm kicking myself for using the Reddit May Challenge sandbox to do this, because I know there's a scenery pack out there that actually has, you know, dining tables and things like that, so I could actually put it on top here. But in this particular pack, we don't. So we're gonna have to live with that. But just for the sake of showing you what not necessarily good architecture should look like, but what you should be doing with your architecture, that's what you want to do. Now, you don't want to keep it all flat like that, because like I said before, flat equals boring, cubey equals boring. We don't want our buildings to be boring. So we're going to start working over here. Mind you, this is going to be on the inside, so I don't even know why I'm doing it. But over here, let's make a tower, like a clock tower. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a big cube here. And I bet you're all saying, well, Lord Excel, you just told us not to make a cube. And you would be right. I did tell you not to make a cube. But this isn't going to be the only part of the building, if you're getting what I'm saying now. By throwing things off, it allows us to make this cube. It allows us to throw it off. It allows us to... Now that's not the same thing. Valdir, I am so sorry. You probably saw me reach for that one and like rage quit watching my video. But basically we're going to have windows up here for the tower facing outwards. Now, remember as well, I'm so sorry, Valdir, I don't know if this is the right one or not, the same one. I think that's the same one. So, we're going to continue going around here, just so we can see the outline of where our tower is going to be. And we're going to make it go right there. So now you see where the outline of our tower is going to be, where our building is going to be, and you can see how, you know, that's changed it. It gave it a bit more depth, it gave it a bit more clarity. We're actually going to go up one higher here. And, you know, this is one of the beautiful things about workbenches. There's a lot of workbenches put out by a lot of great people that play the game. They're full of great scenery and everything that's just designed for helping people create parks. Now, this isn't the best thing to show people how to design scenery on, because most of it is the default scenery that you get with the game. But like I said, that's my style. I prefer working with the default scenery because I like sharing it with people, because I get to show them, hey, this is something you can create. You can do everything that I'm doing, I believe, with almost any single scenario that you're doing, just because I'm using default scenery. You can copy my actions, action for action, and it'll be great. Now, that's a flat roof, and like I said, that's a little bit boring, but if we're going for a Pueblo style kind of building, I don't want to make it a shingled roof. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little, wherever it is, we're going to take our little knee-high wall again, and we are going to go around like this. And now we can tell exactly where the roof is, where things end, and it looks great. But you're probably saying, but Lord, your building still looks a bit cubey on that side. And you're correct again. But this is where we bring back our friends from earlier on in the episode. The trees. And we're going to bring them in right here. Because buildings have trees and everything up against them. So we're going to put a little tree here. We're going to put something right there. And what can we put right there? And I want to put something small. I want to put something smallish right there. So we're going to put... There we go. Now that looks a lot better. And we can just pop in right here into the little nooks and crannies. Now, how awesome does that look now? And you know what? We can even take it one step further. Put little bushes here, like it's a hedge. Look at that. Look at what we just did. Now, this is something any one of you that's watching this video right now can create. I think we used, let's see, only, oh, Valdir, I found it. I found one of my mistakes. It's okay. I found it. We used a different type of wall here. Now, what I just made right here, any one of you can create in the game. I used 4 of the default pieces of scenery to make these walls, and I just used the basic trees and foliage that are in the game to create the trees on the outside. Now, this is something any one of you can create. Now, what I want to see from you guys is I want to see... Now, I'm not necessarily expecting you guys to magically have a video uploaded to YouTube, but what I would like to see for you guys is to, create a imager album or a photo bucket album, and I want you guys to take a few screenshots of everything you learned here today, and I would like for you guys to upload them to the comments. Show me what you guys can create. This is simple. This is all default scenery that was just used right here. Now, nobody's perfect. I honestly am my worst critic. I don't really like it. Some of you guys like it, and I was asked to do a video on just making buildings like this. So, here it is, and I hope you guys liked it. Like I said, I'd love to see what you guys came up with, and I will see you for episode 9 of the Roller Coaster Tycoon series, where we will wrap up electric fields, and I'll be talking about some extra cool stuff that I think you guys may be really, really interested in. It's going to definitely involve the contest I've been talking about last month, and some things of what I'm planning for that. So you guys stay tuned, and I'll see you around. Okay? Okay. See ya.